BRFM on 95.6 FM and online at BRFM.net. BRFM.net. Community radio for the Isle of Sheppey and Swale.
This is Bridge 95.6 BRFM.
Away here at BRFM 95.6, the island's very own radio station. It's 7:05 and it's the 17th of March. Welcome along. This is the Monday night community show with Daniel, Dave Andrews and Alan Moon are in the studio at the moment. They're from the Faversham Off-Road Car Club. We'll be speaking to them throughout the next hour. So a big thanks to Dan Bransby for keeping the drive alive. You can join him every weekday between 4 and 7. And of course, as always, all the useful contact details will be given out in the last 2 hours of the show of past guests who have visited throughout the last couple of weeks here at BRFM.
Tonight I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive.
Queen and Don't Stop Me Now. Here at BRFM 95.6, the island's very own radio station. You're listening to the Monday night community show with Daniel. We're joined with Alan Moon and Dave Andrews. We're going to be speaking to Alan Moon first. They're from the Faversham Off-Road Car Club. Good evening, Alan.
Good evening, Daniel.
First, I was wondering if you can tell us about the history of the club.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no problem, Daniel. Basically, we started many, many years ago when I was a youngster, and that is many years ago now, probably when I was 18, actually. There was a guy lived 3 doors away from me, name of Ron Barrett, and he had this great idea of getting this club together, racing little toy cars as people perceive them to be. And I went along and joined. At that time it was run outside at a school, at the Abbey School in Faversham itself. We run on an outside basis because we had nowhere to race inside at that time. But after that, we managed to get inside at the Abbey School for some matter of a few months, I suppose. And then that, unfortunately, went by the by. So after that, we moved on and we went to the Davington School in Faversham. That didn't last too long either, because schools, unfortunately, got commitments. They got different clubs, and obviously you couldn't get a long-term basis there. So after that, we went to the Queen Elizabeth School in Faversham. We was running out of schools in Faversham to go to by then. And our main aim, really, as the club, was to find ourselves somewhere permanent on a week-to-week basis to run. So we thought, well, our best option now is to basically look for a village hall of some description, which, would give us that weekly basis which we needed. To get any club running properly, you need stability.
Yeah, continuity.
Yes, you need stability so people have got somewhere to come. They know where they're about. Well, luck would have it, Ron himself found Bolton Village Hall happened to be available on a Thursday evening. Now, so he snapped the opportunity up, because obviously what you've got to remember when you're running this club, you've got many things that you need to move around. The logistics of it are quite difficult. You've got ropes to move, you've got tyres to move, which is all part, we'll go into that later on, but that's all part of our club. You need to build tracks, what we actually race our cars around. So anyway, Ron obviously took up this opportunity to start at Bolton Village Hall on a Thursday night. Well, it was only as a temporary basis, because in them days they had many, many different activities going on. So we got offered eventually the Wednesday evening on a permanent basis.
Okay.
So we snapped that up again, and basically that is really it. 18 years we have now been racing inside of Bolton Village Hall. The club itself has been going probably, well, maybe it's a bit more than 18 years we've been in the hall itself, but the club itself has been running now for 23 years, which is quite incredible. Ron himself, the guy who originally started the club, he, I was going to say emigrated, but he only went to the Isle of Wight. I suppose it's emigration in a way, isn't it, really? But a bit like coming over here tonight. But no, he obviously went over to the Isle of Wight. So a few of us took it upon ourselves to either we let the club go, we stopped doing it, but we enjoyed it. We was youngsters in them days, and we really enjoyed what we'd done. So we thought, no, we're going to carry this on. So there was probably about 4 or 5 of us that really got together then and decided to go for it.
Yep.
And basically that's it. We've been doing the same thing. The club itself is run by, it's like any club, whether it's a boxing club, a judo club, there's always the committed few, if you see what I mean, that put everything into it. They put their life into it as such, because there is a lot of effort involved in running any club, and hats off to anybody that's listening tonight that does run a club, because I know exactly where they're coming from on it. It's quite a full-on thing to do, but it's rewarding. It is rewarding. It tests you occasionally, I must admit, but I suppose my way of thinking about it is the fact that when I was a youngster, I went to clubs and somebody was running them clubs for me, if you see what I mean. So I feel as if I'm only giving that back, to the youngsters now as such. So basically, to answer to your original question, Daniel, that really is the history of the Faversham Off-Road Car Club.
Okay, so we're joined with Alan Moon and Dave Andrews. They're from the Faversham Off-Road Car Club here at BRFM this evening. We've got some ABBA coming up now.